Hello, everyone. I am at a local park, and I am here with just a few ducks. Or many. You could say that. They look hungry.
Our taste in film may seem destructive, but this is a productive dialogue. Damn it, your mother ate my dog.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Your Mother Ate My Dog, the podcast. Josh and Jesse bringing it to you one more time. Today, episode 3, The Green Lantern. How exciting.
One more time.
Did you think that this movie was a lot like The Green Lantern? This is The Green Lantern of 2023.
I would say it was similar in some ways, yes.
As in a failed comic book movie?
Yeah.
I think this made more money than The Green Lantern, but we'll get into that. We have so much to talk about tonight. Or
We
today.
really do. Yeah,
this morning.
today. Yeah, one of them.
Episode 46, actually. 43 episodes since The Green Lantern. I think it was episode 3. I didn't double check. I just
That sounds about right.
kind of said it. I should double check. But episode 46, Ghost Rider, 2007 masterpiece that spawned a sequel somehow, starring Nicolas Cage. One of Peter Fonda's last roles, I can only assume.
Yeah, I would have to assume. Green Lantern was indeed episode 3.
I know our catalog backwards and frontwards.
Well, that was well done.
Ghost Rider. But before Ghost Rider, there are some things that I want to talk about.
Okay.
So it's February.
It do be February, indeed.
It's cold out.
Mm-hmm.
February. Something that I don't like doing very, very often, but it is warm when I do it, is wash the dishes.
Mm-hmm.
I've had to do that a lot more this week because our dishwasher broke.
Oh.
Do you have a dishwasher? I can't remember.
Yes, I do.
Well, our dishwasher stopped washing dishes, and so they had to rip it out and then take it away to their magic fairy shop, and they'll be bringing it back in a week or so.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have to wash all of our own dishes.
That sounds terrible.
Living like a person who doesn't have a dishwasher, it's not great.
Yeah, it's tough times.
What did you have for dinner?
I had Annie's macaroni and cheese. What did you have for dinner?
I had homemade mushroom soup and grilled cheese. So a lot of cheese.
It sounds a lot fancier than what I had. Every once in a while, it's good.
Yeah. Annie's is good. I can't afford it, so I stick with the craft dinner
Mm-hmm.
mostly.
Yeah, we're a fancy household.
That's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Also, February, every year in February, there is one thing that happens. I don't know if you can guess.
Valentine's Day?
No, the Grammys.
Right.
You're a guy who loves music.
I'm a fan of music, yep.
You pay attention to the 65th annual Grammy Awards?
Not at all.
It was held at the Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles on February the 5th, which happened to be yesterday. So you don't know who won, like, Best Album?
No idea.
What if I said it was a friend of the show?
Oh, then of course it was Jack Black.
Harry Styles won Best Album.
Right.
Harry's House, friend of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce won a bunch of stuff. A lot of people I've never heard of before.
I'm not hip on the modern music, so I probably know even less than you.
I don't know what the difference between record of the year and album of the year is, but in the record of the year category, ABBA, "Don't Shut Me Down" was nominated.
Oh,
They did not win. Mary J. Blige also did not win, but was nominated. Brandy Carlisle. So I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
No, me neither. That sounds confusing.
Anyways, that's all. That's all I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Dishwasher dinner and the Grammy Awards.
You got to knock those 3 off the list, and you've been successful. I
It was
commend you.
It was succinct,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
Oh, 100%. Done in 5 minutes. I love that.
Yeah, anything burning a hole in your pocket?
You see any movies this week that weren't podcast related?
Yeah. Have you watched any of the Conjuring movies?
The Conjuring movies? No, I
The
haven't.
Conjuring. Well, like okay.
No, I
Well,
haven't seen any of them.
this weekend we watched The Conjuring 3.
Oh boy. You know,
It
when
followed-
when it's a horror series and you're at the third one, the odds are it ain't good.
Well, I mean, it was fine.
Okay.
It was 2 hours. Maybe that was a problem. 6.1 out of 10 I gave it.
Hey, that's not so bad. I
Yeah,
do
it was
notice.
fine.
I do notice you two like to watch your horror films.
Yeah. For sure. We like a good horror movie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
On the weekends.
Yeah, that's the perfect time for it. This week,
Turn the lights.
yeah, turn them all off. This week, I watched a movie I've been meaning to watch for like 5 years.
Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider, 100%. No, I watched a movie called The Artist. It's like that black and white silent film that came out probably 2016, if I were to hazard a guess.
Oscar award winning. No, I think 2016 was a little too soon for that. If I had to guess, 2012 is what I would guess. And the artist 2011 film. 2011.
Wow, okay. Well, that's much earlier than I thought. But yeah, it won Oscar for Best Picture, and thus has been on my list to watch for a long time, and I finally got around to it.
But you wanted to watch it yourself and not for the podcast.
Yeah, it seems like that's not really my choice for films for the podcast, like, you know, critically acclaimed, typically. So I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'll just watch it on my own time. It was quite delightful. Have you seen it?
No, it doesn't interest me too much.
Okay, well, missing out.
Well, what would you give it out of 10?
Probably like an 8. But I didn't
And that
think
one
about it.
best movie.
It sure did. Best.
An 8.
Yep. Yeah, it was good. You would have to have liked you have to like silent film, I think, to appreciate it. But it was interesting seeing a modern take on a silent film and being able to see what modern film could do with that type of film. It was interesting. It was more complex than just a silent film. There was more to it.
Was there talking?
Very little, yes, but yeah, there was.
Okay. I'm
All right.
going to name a few movies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, 2011 wasn't a very good year, it seems, for like good movies.
Okay.
Have you seen Moneyball with Brad Pitt?
I've seen clips from the movie, but not the whole thing.
I thought it was a good movie. I didn't think it was like an Oscar nominated movie,
Right.
but that was up for Best Picture. Midnight in Paris with Owen Wilson.
I know of it, but have not seen it.
I thought it was a fine movie. I didn't think it was Oscar worthy. That was nominated. The Descendants, I believe that's George Clooney.
Never even heard of that one.
Yeah. Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. That had Tom Hanks, Sandra Bullock, John Goodman, another friend of the show. Yeah, I guess The Artist won because the other movies kind of sucked.
that would do it. Yeah. It was a good movie. I recommend it. But of course, you said you're not interested, so that's fine.
No, but I'm not the only one who listens to this podcast. So you recommend it
That is true. That is true.
to whoever's up this hour.
Yep. Check it out, Greg.
Okay. Well, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Did you ever play the video game Last of Us?
Yep.
Are you watching the TV show Last of Us?
Yep.
How do you like that so far?
It's good.
Is it true to the game?
There's some differences, but overall, it's holds pretty true. You know, they're sort of like expanding on some of the things that happened in the show. Sorry, not the show, in the game.
Like the whole Bill and Frank thing.
Right. That wasn't said in so many words in the game, but it was interesting to see how they translated it to the show. It was quite a good episode.
I didn't really play the game much at all, so I don't have that lens, but it's a great TV show.
Yeah, it is very good. I could see that since I share a Crave account with you. Well, you share it with me, I guess, more accurately. I could see that what looks like happened is you guys yesterday started watching it. And then what happened to me and what happened to a lot of people is Crave stopped working.
Oh, did that happen to a lot of people? Because, yeah, it wouldn't work for me on the Xbox, so we watched it on my computer.
Oh, it worked for you there?
Through Crave, yeah, but the Xbox wasn't working.
Yeah, that was like a national thing. It wasn't working for a lot of people. It looked like you guys got like 5 minutes in, and then it stopped.
No, it didn't work for us at all because it said I was signed in, but then was like, "Oh, you're not signed in." There are other people who are watching on my Crave account.
Oh, well, you're allowed to give away your password on Crave, not so much for other streaming services.
Yeah, I think only my mom takes my Netflix.
Not for
So
long.
We'll see how that works out.
Yeah.
So okay, I was wondering, are you only watching Last of Us on there?
Yeah.
Is there some other stuff that people are watching? Like, this is interesting.
No. Just The Last of Us.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Ghost Rider.
I guess
2007.
I guess we have
Unless
to,
you want to
have to do it. No, I'm just saying. I guess we have to eventually talk about this movie.
In 2023, this is our first movie that takes place after the year 2000. Well, technically the first movie that takes place after the year 1998.
Yep.
2007's Ghost Rider starring Nicolas Cage. Another friend of the show. Con Air, one of the best movies we watched last year.
That was a good one.
Ghost Rider, maybe. I'm kind of sensing this. It wasn't your favorite movie?
Certainly not of this year.
No, I think this will be the worst movie that we watched this year so far.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, my score is the worst anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll say as like an overall impression, this one was a little bit, I think out of all the movies we've watched, this is in like the top 3 cringiest of the movies we've seen.
Yeah, I do have a note about that in my score of 10. I didn't use the word cringy.
Well, I don't use that word lightly, but there were moments I legitimately cringed.
Just like their one-liners that they think are so
cool,
like, smart.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has one. Like everybody has them.
Yes.
Just yeah, it doesn't work out.
Not at all.
It had so much potential. It's been like this premise has so much potential.
Oh, it totally does. Yeah.
I feel like it was kind of wasted, but at the same time, it didn't make a lot of money. And then the second movie they made a sequel, and it also made a lot of money. Yes. With a combined like 45% score on Rotten Tomatoes, but
yeah, it's yeah, I feel bad for those people that went on opening day. I mean, they liked it enough, I guess, to watch it in the second one. Maybe they were hoping it would be better or something.
I couldn't get over Nicolas Cage's hair.
Yeah, it looked like really fake. So it did not suit him at all.
I did not believe him to be a motorcyclist,
No, not really.
a stunt biker.
Yeah, there was I think writing was a big problem with this one. Like all the one-liners, like 95% of them sucked, and all the dialogue between people sucked, and all the things that happened were boring. I don't know. It was like 2 hours of like, and like it took so long for him to finally like be Ghost Rider, like way too long. And especially like the first 20 minutes where it's like young Nicolas Cage. That was some hot garbage.
Yeah, not a good actor. I found out that he was wearing a hairpiece, and it required 3 hours to apply every day. I don't know why. Like,
Why? It was so weird.
he doesn't have that bad of hair, but I guess they wanted to make him younger because he was in his mid-40s for the movie.
I guess so. I didn't make him look younger. I just made him look stupid.
And I don't understand why they wouldn't have just like used his voice, or at least a version of his voice, when he was Ghost Rider, but it sounded nothing like him.
Yeah, that part was also weird. It just like it was hard to you didn't get any of his character. Like there was no Nicolas Cage within Ghost Rider, so it just became like two separate people. Like I would have liked, maybe to be able to hear his voice a little, like maybe his voice like distorted where you could tell it was his voice, or any amount of his personality like coming through Ghost Rider. But yeah, it just didn't happen at all. And yeah, the first 20 minutes with Matt Long, I guess, was the guy playing Johnny Blaze.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, that was super bad acting. I think the dad was all right, actually.
Well, the dad's like one of those character actors you see in everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he was all right, but everything else was garbage. And then it was like a really stark, like from young Johnny Blaze to now it's Nicolas Cage Johnny Blaze, and now he has all these like personality quirks and that don't relate to how he was when he was young at all. And it's just like, where is this coming from?
Well, he lost his soul to the devil, right?
Right, and now he likes monkey shows and jelly beans.
His dad died.
His dad died. That'll
drink.
change somebody. Yeah, you can't drink. You have nightmares. And like, though, like him liking the monkey, whatever that weird scene, it was like stupid, but it was like offbeat, and it was actually like kind of funny. And I thought this movie, the few moments that it would shine was when it was being like a little weird, or when you let Nicolas Cage like embrace his weirdness, like when he was like talking to himself like in the mirror. And I'm also thinking of the first scene where he becomes Ghost Rider. Like those were good because I don't know, it just allowed him to be himself. But every other scene where he's like forced to like interact with the other characters and like have normal conversations, they're all like super boring and uninteresting.
Yeah, him transforming, just looking at his face the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage is great. I don't think he's the right actor for this movie.
No, I don't think it was his fault. Like,
No.
You could see moments where it was like, okay, this is the Nicolas Cage that I know and I appreciate. And I think a lot of it was just the writing. Like, I don't know what he could have done with that. And yeah, like you said earlier, there's so much potential. And I was just thinking about all the different ways this could be way cooler than it was. Like the whole time. It just wasn't cool.
They should remake this.
They should.
With Harry Styles in it.
With Harry Styles. It has a lot of potential for being really interesting. I bet you they will remake this sometime soon. I could see that happening.
But yeah, the writing was bad.
So bad. And also, like in a movie like this, you want to have like a good villain. The villain was terrible. Like one of the worst villains I've ever seen in a movie. Like,
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that he was the villain because like I was kind of waiting for somebody better to show up.
yeah, there was, and like it was the whole like gang of forgettable bad guys, and then headed by this like really poorly acted, uninteresting characters. Like it was brutal.
Maybe they fix it in the sequel.
Maybe I hope so.
Sam Elliott was good though.
Yep. Yeah, you would hope so. He's a pretty. I mean, but the thing is, I mean, I would have expected Nicolas Cage to be better, but he just wasn't. I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't know. Sam Elliott's character was he was like the coolest character.
but one thing I didn't really understand was, so obviously he was another Ghost Rider.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of saw that coming.
Mm-hmm.
But then he had like one last ride in him. So then he just like, lit himself up and then they went for a ride to
Yeah.
get him to that place. I don't remember. So boring.
Yep.
And then he was like, okay, I'm done. I'm gonna disappear now.
Yeah, he just like rode with him to there, but then didn't help him when they got there.
Yeah.
He's just like, okay, see you later. It's like, okay.
Yeah, it's your problem now.
Yeah. And I feel bad for Eva Mendes as well. Her character was like completely useless and there only to serve the like Nicolas Cage's character, just totally superfluous.
He treated her terribly.
Sure did. And like their weird I don't know, like the relationship was very strange. Like so back and forth, but like there was no weight to it at all. It's like very unbelievable.
She gave him so many chances.
So many chances, back and forth and back and forth. And there was like a pretty staggering amount of people, her included, I guess, like when they came in contact with Ghost Rider, like when he is Ghost Rider, who aren't at all phased. That is just like a flaming skeleton man. Like when he escapes the prison and then like the cop runs up to him, like hits him with a baton. It's like, are you not like absolutely horrified at this flaming skeleton man? It's just like, oh, whatever.
She's a reporter. She sees a bunch of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of. I mean, the whole world's kind of unbelievable, but yeah, those kind of small things make me give this movie a worse score. It's filmed in Australia. That's fun.
Oh, that's very fun. Maybe that's why Rebel Wilson was in it.
Yeah, one of her first. I think actually her first role outside of Australia, except it was filmed in Australia. So
Right.
she was wacky. She went from this movie, this one line cameo, even though nobody knew who she was at the time.
Yeah.
To Bridesmaids. Bridesmaids was her next role, so
That's quite the big jump. Yeah, that worked out for her. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, was there anything like that stands out that you really liked about the movie?
I mean, visually, it wasn't terrible for the year. Like the fiery skull man looked fairly believable.
Yeah, the effects weren't like. Sometimes they weren't great, but most of the time they were pretty good.
Yeah. The whole like bike transformation was cool, I guess.
I like the scene where he's like riding up the building with the motorcycle. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, I like the cemetery was quite nice.
That's true. Yeah, and I liked my favorite scene. I think was him like first transforming into Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of well done.
So they put all the money.
I guess so. That one scene. But yeah, it's not a very deep film. It's not a ton you could talk about, really. It's just kind of like a mediocre action movie with very bad acting and writing. And with like
Ye-
huge wasted potential.
Wow. I guess that's the movie.
That is the movie right there.
The music wasn't bad. Kind of fit the tone.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
This was ranked as the seventh worst comic book movies of the decade, or the seventh of the 10. Okay, I gotta find that list, but 2000 comic book movies.
I'm assuming a couple of the ones we've seen are on there, like
Like, who would be worse?
the Green Lantern, Eon Flux, which I think counts. I don't know what else would be on there. One of the Hulk movies, perhaps.
Catwoman,
Oh, right.
2004 was worse.
That's supposed to be god awful.
Maybe Daredevil.
Yeah, that might be it. The Phantom, maybe. I don't know. That might be the 90s. The Phantom. 96. Wouldn't have been that.
I found the actual list they're talking about. Just wait till it loads. Anyways. Yeah, my dishwasher broke. That kind of sucked. Yeah, Catwoman was the worst one. And then The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh, yeah, that movie's not great. I thought that movie's way more fun than this movie, though.
The Spirit.
Haven't heard of it.
Scarlett Johansson, Samuel L. Jackson. Eva Mendes is in that one as well. But it's from the same guy who did Sin City.
Okay.
The Punisher.
Yeah, I've seen the cover of that. Yeah. Okay.
Elektra with Jennifer Garner.
Oh, yeah.
And Fantastic Four, the original.
Oh, yeah. That's a pretty shit movie. Yeah, it's a lot of movies that I forgot existed. Elektra. Yeah, that's a thing that exists.
Well, in 43 more episodes, you can take a look on that list and pick our next movie.
Why in that amount of time, specifically?
Well, because 43 episodes ago, it was
I got you.
It was the Green Lantern, which
Right.
was similar, but maybe I liked Green Lantern better. I can't remember. I forgot how to. Well, it's going to be a pretty similar score, I think. I forgot how to judge bad movies.
What do you mean? This thing's a masterpiece. No, it's pretty bad.
It's an infamous movie.
I'm going to be giving it one of my lowest scores ever. I'll tell you that.
Okay, maybe my score is a little higher then, because my score is it's low, but it's not like that low.
Yeah, it's probably better than mine, would be my guess. Speaking of which, do you want to get into that part?
Yeah, we might as well, since you're dying to get this over with.
All right.
Never talk about Ghost Rider again.
Never again.
How did you feel about the acting?
Well, Josh, it wasn't very good. In fact, it was pretty horrific. There was barely... It was like almost no good acting. You said Sam Elliott was good. I agreed with that. And maybe like 2 scenes with Nicolas Cage coming through, like is the good acting Nicolas Cage. Beyond that, it was very terrible. Like some of the worst I've seen in a long time. For acting a 2, it's just bad.
Yeah, that's fair. Tough to watch for sure. Very awkward, very stiff. I mean, some writing has to be blamed for it, but even with bad writing, like the acting was still garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Nicolas Cage, normally fantastic, couldn't say this one. Yeah, a lot of cheesy lines we talked about. I give it a 3 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah, that
Also,
sounds
yeah,
about right.
those big emotional moments that they thought was going to be, scene stealing just fell flat probably every single time.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you feel about the ending?
Um, the ending was also like pretty stupid. I mean, it was clearly setting up for a sequel, which it actually delivered. Yeah, and like the whole climactic fight against the bad guy. I can't remember his stupid name.
Blackheart?
Blackheart. Yeah, that's the one. He, yeah, it's just like so hard to care. It's just so poorly acted and uninteresting. And like the way he died in the end was stupid. I don't know. The ending sucked too. I thought I gave it a 2 as well.
Wow, this is a terrible movie,
It is.
according to you.
It was. It was terrible.
Um, just a reminder, this was a Jesse pick. Normally, I like a good ending where everything comes full circle.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, technically, this one kind of came full circle because, Johnny Blaze is trying to use his. Oh yeah, Johnny Blaze is a really good name.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Amazing.
hot name. He has this power as Ghost Rider where he can like use his eyes soul powers somehow
Mm-hmm.
and like burn souls.
Mm-hmm.
But he tried that on Blackheart, and it didn't work. But then Blackheart told him exactly why it wouldn't work. Like,
Right.
I have no soul, dummy. So then we knew right away that okay, that's how he was going to kill him. Somehow he was going to get a soul into his body and then destroy him that way, which is exactly how it happened.
Right.
So the ending. Maybe the movie itself was a little too obvious. There was no surprises. We knew Johnny was always going to win, even without a sequel. He gets the girl. Very boring and predictable. I gave it a 3.5 out of 10.
Yeah, that's totally reasonable.
Thank you. You give me your score first because it's going to be lower than mine, and we like to leave our audience on a positive note.
Right, of course. Yeah, so not a good movie. Certainly not. Bad acting, bad ending. But there was some glimmers of like there was a couple funny, genuinely funny moments where I think maybe they were going for funny, and seeing Nicolas Cage be weird was a highlight for me. The effects at some moments were kind of cool, and I guess like if I were to take all that into account, the score might be higher. But part of the thing that takes my score down is seeing all the wasted potential and just think like I could think of a better movie than this. I'm pretty sure. There's just like so much potential and just does not pay off at all. So yeah, my final score is 2.5 out of 10.
Okay, thank you for your honesty.
You're welcome. Sorry.
I have a similar note that my score also kind of went down because of the wasted potential, which maybe is unfair, but maybe it's not unfair. If you take away the acting and the ending, which were both terrible,
Mm-hmm.
the movie wasn't all that bad. Like, it was a fun action, nothing movie. A guy with a flaming skull for a head. So that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Just a good movie to put on like a rainy Saturday afternoon. You're just watching him fight bad guys and ride a cool Harley. But at the same time, wasted potential. It could have been so much better. Nicolas Cage, disappointing. The movie was fine. but I gave it a 4 out of 10.
A 4 out of 10.
Yeah, so it's not a 2.5. It's a 4 out of 10, which is our worst scores. 2.5. Let's see what.
I think
kind of movies?
the only things I gave worse than that were definitely Dude, Where's My Car? And I gave something a 2. I can't remember what it was now, but Ballistic X versus Sever, I think I gave it 2.
That was a really good movie, so I doubt it.
Yeah, Ballistic X versus Sever was a gem.
The Haunting got a 3. So yeah, that's your third worst movie you've ever seen.
On the podcast, for sure. That makes total sense to me. I liked The Haunting
Maybe in real
better
life.
than this. Maybe.
Well, that was Ghost Rider. I'm not mad.
You're not
fine.
mad? I mean, no, like it wasn't
sometimes,
like... Well, actually, I don't know. I finished watching it. I'm like, man, I wish I hadn't seen that. But I don't know.
well, that's never a good sign.
No.
But it's over now.
Wow, I was really mean to the movie Moon. Remember that movie?
I do remember that movie.
You gave it a 6.5. I gave it a 3. Apparently.
I mean, it was kind of boring, a little bit. It's kind of a one actor movie. You got to really like Sam Rockwell.
I guess so. Tombstone, 3.5.
Yeah, bad movies suck. Luckily, we won't be watching a bad movie next week.
Are you sticking to your guns? Or are you still picking Do the Right Thing?
Yes, we're watching Do the Right Thing.
Okay.
My 1980s pick, 1989. It is February, Black History Month, which didn't have anything to do with my pick. I was always going to pick this movie, I think, so that's nice. It's a movie that I've seen on many best of lists, but I've never seen it.
It is good. I'll try to dig up my old film study class notes on the movie.
You can, yeah, just like watch it fresh.
I'll watch it fresh, but I still maybe want to see what I wrote about it, if I can find them.
Sure. Yeah. It's going to be a good time.
Totally. A better time than this.
It's a bad movie when we finish talking about it very early.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay because we'll break out some coffee news trivia.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
Just to kind of bring us to a normal
Bring us to
time.
that fateful...
People pay
for the 50 minutes at least.
Well, people pay for at least 40.
Right. We're close to 40 at least.
But yeah, okay. So yeah, my dishwasher's still broken.
Still broken. Hasn't been
work
fixed.
going well for you? You having a nice...
Oh yeah, it's going all right.
Still having a nice time? I have holidays coming up next week. Taking a week off.
Nice. What are you doing? Probably going up island?
Doing nothing.
That's always good to do every once in a while.
I recently found out that... Sorry, my computer is very slow for some reason. I recently found out that I get 2 weeks before my normal 3 weeks we get every year. So I had to either carry it over to next year or use it now. And so I decided to use one now, and I'll carry over 1 week next year.
Nice. That sounds
next
like a
year
good deal.
starting in April.
Right.
And yeah, I haven't had like a week off maybe ever. Well, no, that's not true, but it's been a while.
Yeah. Well, good for you.
Thanks. I needed to hear that. Good
You're
for me.
welcome. Good for
Are you
you.
ready for some coffee news trivia?
100%. I think I'm gonna be 5 for 5.
I doubt it. Okay, 5 questions, as you said. Question 1: How are you? How are you with the Philippines?
Every once in a while, I feel the beans.
Do you know the largest island of the Philippines?
Of course, I do. Is that the question?
That's question 1. What's the largest island of the Philippines?
Well, what's your answer?
Well, my answer, the first thing that came into my mind was Java, but I don't think I don't think Java's in the Philippines. I think it's like Indonesia, or I think it's one of those. I mean, this should be an easy answer, right?
It might be like one of those ones that once you like hear it, it might make sense. But I don't know if I can think of a single Filipino island name, to be honest with you. So honestly, I don't know.
Philippine. Oh, so you're already not going to be 5 for 5. It's
Yeah.
Philippine Island. Question 2. This Egyptian frog goddess represents fertility.
Oh boy. Yeah. I don't know.
This Egyptian frog. Oh, it's one of those. It's like Kermit, but it's not Kermit. I don't know either. 3. What refrigerant destroys the ozone layer? Are these questions getting harder?
What refrigerant?
Destroys the ozone layer. Yeah, what's that refrigerant that
don't know.
destroys the ozone layer? They're always talking about it.
Gosh, I have no idea.
Al Gore is always talking about the refrigerant. It's like it's in everybody's refrigerator. Okay. I can't remember either. Here's a true or false question, which
Oh,
helps.
thank God. That gives us at least a shot.
Question 4. The French horn is a woodwind instrument. True or false?
A woodwind instrument?
Yeah, the French horn.
I don't think so. False.
I say true because you said false.
I thought it was
true.
I thought it was a brass wind instrument.
Oh, interesting. The word cappuccino. Question 5. The word cappuccino originally referred to what brown item? Cappuccino. What brown item?
It's got to be a hat, a leather hat.
You know what? I'm gonna just go with coffee with this one.
Okay.
Kind of spin. Kind of
You think it might be a trick question of sorts?
might be a trick question. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe like, oh, we just gave you hard questions. Here's an easy layup one. Let's just quickly check our horoscopes. Gemini. For Jesse, resist any temptation to get into a fight with someone you perceive as an obstacle to your plans. What might be a better way to meet this challenge that will avoid conflict?
Okay.
Your lucky numbers are 6, 17, 25, 35, 37, 43. Make sure to play that lotto.
I sure will. That's a lot of lucky numbers. A lotto pick's worth of numbers.
Nice. Capricorn. For Josh, you may have been undergoing a long period of personal transformation, which often might have been confusing. That sounds like puberty. Which I
Yes.
haven't been. I'm an adult man. Okay. At midweek, you could receive some insights about the process. Look for them. Lucky numbers 4, 15, 33, 39, 42, and 44. That's confusing. I don't know what...
42 is my favorite number.
Because of Jackie Robinson.
Yep, 100%.
Okay, we'll get to the answers just as I keep scrolling down.
I'm confident I got
all
one
10
right.
differences. You definitely got one right. Question 1. The biggest Filipino island is the island of Luzon.
Oh, of course.
Luzon.
Luzon. The
The
Makes perfect
frog,
sense.
the Egyptian frog fertility one.
Uh-huh.
Hequet. Hequet. Hecate.
Yeah, that's got to be how it's pronounced.
Hecate.
Hecate.
The refrigerant is Freon. Freon's always getting hurt in those ozones.
Of course. Hey, Josh, I know you said your dishwasher was down, but is your refrigerator running?
Funny thing about that though, the refrigerator and the dishwasher were both on the same. You know
Breaker?
the breaker, yeah. Thank you. The same breaker. So they turned off the dishwasher breaker, and then left, so that our refrigerator wasn't running.
Oh. Well, you
But
better
it's
go
running. It's running.
catch it.
The French horn, you're right, is not a woodwind instrument.
Mm-hmm.
That was false.
Mm-hmm.
And cappuccino, it originally meant Capuchin monk's clothing.
Of course.
Capuchin monk's clothing, cappuccino. So yeah, 1 out of 5 ain't bad. I went 0. 0 out of 5.
That didn't make us, refer back to perhaps previous iterations of Coffee News Trivia. We'll seem a bit smarter than we did today.
That one seemed harder.
It did seem quite difficult.
You got any videos coming up soon?
I have an idea where I'm going to go next, but I just haven't got around to filming it. So maybe perhaps next week, but I'm not really in a rush.
No, you're not in a rush, but your fans are. They want to see the content.
They'll have to wait.
They do get a podcast every week. You should somehow. Okay, so the first video blew up because it was in some sort of paddling. Posted on a paddling, probably just a Facebook group.
Yeah.
You got to get into that Facebook group and post. Oh, you like this Jesse content? We do this every week.
Here's a podcast.
Podcast. We can talk about water and paddling and stuff.
We sure could. That's an
Whoosh,
idea.
Whoosh, that's how I sound when I paddle.
Yeah, whoosh, whoosh. You have paddled yourself. You've done dragging a boat.
Splash, splash. Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
We were on a team together. Fun fact.
And then what happened?
The world changed.
We didn't win a gosh darn thing.
No, we were just we were not great, but too good at the same time. So we just always ended up in a place where we couldn't win a medal. What can you do?
Not watch Ghost Rider again.
Correct. That is the solution.
I do kind of want to watch the sequel, though, just to finish the loop.
It does feel like, you want to be able... It's one of those things, I want to be able to say I've seen both Ghost Rider movies.
The problem with this, though, is I didn't even know there were 2 Ghost Rider movies until we started watching the first one.
Yeah, me neither. You never would have guessed.
Okay.
Well then.
We'll do the right thing next week. Very excited to watch that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have so much time on my holidays to watch that movie. Is there any final words before we sign off one last time?
One last time.
Well, the one time.
Anything to say before we sign off the one time? No, I don't think so. I hope everyone has an excellent week. I appreciate you listening. And if you reveal to me, this is a test. I have a test. If you listen to the end of this podcast and you send me a message with the following word, I will give you my own personal words of advice. That's what I'm offering for those who can say the word to me. Corn. Sorry for the weird cadence on that. I was just trying to think of the word on the spot. Corn is the word. Say that to me and I will give you free advice.
When's the last time you've listened to an episode of the podcast?
It's been a long time. Half a year ago, probably.
Sometimes I have you singing at the end. Sometimes I don't. So
Oh, like singing the outro? That song
Yeah.
I made up that one time?
yeah. Well, now I have to do it for this one too. But yeah,
Right. Well, it was an instant classic, so I don't blame you for reusing it. And our little jingles at the beginning, yeah?
there's a jingle at the beginning. Yeah, it's our theme song.
Right.
So
Our theme song jingle. It's a good one. It's got we've put in,
anyways,
oh yeah, anyway, yeah.
have a wonderful day. Look, we hit the 50-minute mark.
We did it. This is a good time to stop. You've made it to the end. Yes, you've made it to the end. The podcast is done. Josh had some fun. Jesse was there too. We'll see you next week. What movie will it be? We're happy to have you. Goodbye.